On tonight's News at 10, pregnancy rotas, dead man returns home, and more sexual harassment meetings. Good evening and welcome to tonight's News at 10. The Japanese government are going to make senior officials take courses on sexual harassment. Now, the article didn't say what senior officials, it didn't say what company, it didn't say what age group, it just said senior officials. So yeah, that's specific. But sexual harassment is obviously a very big problem in Japan. It happens every day, in the workplace, on the train, and that's why you'll often see trains in Japan, they have women-only carts. Clubs, they have women-only areas. What else do they have, Oka? Women-only trains.
I have no idea.
That's alright.
Toilet. Onsen.
Well, yeah, but that's obvious, isn't it? So the government are finally going to do something about this. I think this is just a convention for old men to compare their toupees, hair dye and dentures. And then after their convention they can all go to a hostess club and hit on the hostesses. This is just another in a long line of knee-jerk reactions to a systematic problem, and it basically will not change anything, other than the perception that the government is actually trying to do something about it. It's the same for English. Every single year the government says, yeah, we've got to improve English, we've got number one, English is number one. And everyone's like, oh yeah, let's vote for this government, they're going to be, oh yeah, putting English the forefront. And then when they get voted in, well, Shinzo Abe just always gets voted in because he's a corrupt bastard. Then nothing ever happens, nothing ever comes to fruition. Yeah, courses on sexual harassment, but nothing will really change. Leading on from the sexual harassment story, pregnancy rotas are going to be introduced to companies. Let me just talk you through it. So basically, women are now being told when they're allowed to get pregnant at work, which is mental. So one woman, she had a baby, and then immediately after, as a lot of people do in the world, she decided to have another baby, and her boss said, you've already had one, I think you should stop now and do some work. So her boss made a rota saying, this year it's your turn, this year it's your turn, this year it's your turn. Imagine that. It's like, oh Sally, I know you were going to have sex tonight and try and get pregnant with your boyfriend, but can you put that off till next Tuesday please, because Mindy's on it tonight. Mindy's the one who's going to get pregnant tonight. First of all, why I like Mindy and Sally, even Japanese names, don't really get that. Being told when you can and can't have a baby, by your boss of all people as well. I know China do it, but that's just nationwide and government run. This is like a company telling its staff when they can and can't have children. Mental. Yeah, I know, tell me about it. Oh shit. Japan is going to enact a law to lower the adult age from 20 to 18. So people in Japan, 20 is the coming of age ceremony. So when they reach 20, they go out drinking, they wear their kimonos, they look really good. This law is going to change that to 18. However, they will be classed as adults when they're 18, but they'll still be prohibited from drinking alcohol, smoking and gambling. So not really adults then, are they? Basically, it'll just be like a paper thing. So they'll be adults when they're 18, and maybe they can work earlier. But anyway, it seems like a pretty pointless law. What's the point of changing the age if they can't do anything with it? Mental. Now, we've all been there when we've snuck off a little early for lunch, or, you know, had an extended lunch, come back a little bit late, or even got to work a little late, or finished work a little early. Well, in Japan, one guy went to lunch 3 minutes early. So yeah, a Japanese worker has been punished for starting lunch 3 minutes early. Managers of the company called a TV news conference and issued a statement of apology, saying they were deeply disappointed and they bowed in front of the whole nation. So it was a 64-year-old man working for a waterworks company in Kobe. Now, to be fair, apparently he did this 26 times over a period of 7 months. I mean, I'm not one to boast, but when I was working back in England, I think I was late to work every day by 5 or 10 minutes. I had half an hour lunch and definitely took 45 minutes to an hour every day. And then finishing at 5, I'd kind of start packing my bags at 4:50. So, I mean, 3 minutes early. Get him out, get him out. But a spokesman from the company said, the lunch break is from 12 PM to 1 PM. He left his desk before the allotted time. And everyone does that, mate. Everyone does that in the world. Literally everyone does it. Calm down, Japan. Calm down. This next story will get ya. Man presumed dead returns a year after family cremated the wrong body. If that doesn't get you hooked, I don't know what will. A man in his 40s went missing last year, and he was found dead by the police, identified by the family, and then they cremated him, and that was the end of it. Or was it? He's now shocked his family by returning home. So on June 21st, 2017, a man matching this guy's description was found dead in a river, and the family were obviously then called to identify the body, and they identified him. And so because there was no ID on the guy, the police took the family's word for it. I mean, the family wouldn't have lied on purpose, I don't think. But also, how do you mistake like your husband and your dad? Like, pretty mental. And they confirmed that there was no mistake, that it was definitely him. And so the case went from missing to dead. Drowning was the cause of death. His body was handed over to the family. He was cremated, and it finished. Or was it? Until he came back to his family this year on June 6th. So the wife said that he just returned home one day. So she called the police and told them what happened. So in response, police then launched another investigation trying to find out who the original dead guy was last year, and it turns out it was a guy from Tokyo in his mid-30s. But I really want to know what the guy said when he just came back, to the house. Like, did he just knock on the door? Like, honey, I'm home, tadaima! Or did he just like use his front key? Was he waiting in there with a cuppa, you know, watching Netflix, and then his wife and children come in and he's like, oh, you're right, keep it down, just trying to watch Netflix, yeah. I mean, like, what, like, no details at all. I even checked 2 websites and neither of them stated how he actually came back. Sounds a little dodgy to me. But that's it for tonight's news. Tune in next time for the news at 10.